Motion to appoint Sarah Trezise chairman if she is willing to serve.
Second.
Any other nominees?
Uh-oh.
Then being none.
There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I guess I'm it. All right.
That's all
I
the
don't
way.
know. We'll see how this, I know.
I thought not, it was easier.
Yeah, that was easy for you guys, but, all right, so,
You sat in the seat.
I don't know, yeah, I'm in the seat. All right, we'll put the name tag up.
The last one in.
And, technically, I think. Here. All right, so this is the newly reorganized zoning board of appeals. We have a new member with us tonight.
Yes.
I'm sorry, say your name again?
Anthony Bucari.
Anthony Bucari. So we welcome him. He is a non-voting member. Two gentlemen to my right, we are all the voting members, but as we always do, everybody always votes on this board, whether it means anything or not. So I think we'll proceed with the first application.
Our first item, I'm going to jump up to the top.
Okay.
Is continued from June 12, 2013. J. Stephen Bajorklin, trustee of 15 Captain Daniel Litchfield Lane. Scituate requested findings pursuant to NBR 48, Section 6, and a floodplain special permit pursuant to Section 470.9 of the Scituate zoning bylaw or any other relief the board finds necessary to allow the reconstruction of pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling that will meet all setback requirements on the pre-existing non-conforming lot located at 141 Greenwich.
Okay, the applicant is here.
Yes,
Ms. Counsel.
Mike Hayes representing Steve Bjorkman. There's a letter that we brought in tonight after discussions with Neil this afternoon. Neil, as you know, can't be here tonight. And town council, as of 3 or 4 o'clock, had yet to render their letter. So after discussion with Neil, we agreed that it might be in the best interest of everybody if we put this over until the next meeting to give everybody a chance to digest town council and an opportunity for Neil to be here for the discussion.
Okay. So you,
I have submitted the letter to
I don't
Nicole.
have it in
right,
writing.
okay. And we just got it in, so is it happy for you, Mike?
Oh, thank you.
Move to continue.
Second.
15th, is it?
August 15th?
I'm sorry, August 15th.
Do we expect Neil back? Do we expect Neil?
Oh, he's back, yeah. He's
Okay,
back.
just not-
Yeah,
okay.
he's been back for a few weeks.
I thought so.
Okay, a second on that?
Second?
I did.
Any discussion?
No.
None? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we'll see you guys next month.
No, Mike's got plenty, Mike's got a lot on the plate today.
Steve's not moving either. Okay,
Going
all right.
anywhere.
Our second item this evening is Walden Woods LLC request to extend the comprehensive permit issued on June 16, 2003. Project is located off Senate Place, Chesapeake, map 45, block 16,
Okay. Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Congratulations,
Thank you.
I think.
Yeah. It's a case-by-case basis. Okay.
Why
Why don't you just introduce yourself for the,
For the record, my name is Robert Devon, I represent Walden Woods LLC. What this is all about is in January 17th, we submitted for the board's consideration and signature a regulatory agreement. The regulatory agreement being executed was obviously a precondition on the original comprehensive permit to the issuance of a building permit. The comprehensive permit as written required that the building permit be issued by March 9th for the permit to be effective. The regulatory agreement was not signed until May 29th for unavoidable reasons. I've spoken with town council and I have taken the liberty of drafting a decision which I believe you have before you, in which you are being asked to simply find that what we are asking for is an insubstantial modification and therefore by regulations deemed approved, What we're asking to do is have the comprehensive permit extended until, I think it was September 11th, I forget the exact date I put in.
September
there.
18th of
September
2013?
18th, September 18th of this year, although the building permit application will be filed within the next 10 days.
It's kind of, it's a long decision for all of that.
Well, and most of it's history.
Okay.
The only part you need to read are the paragraph before the word in bold, decision, and then the decision itself. The rest of it is just all a recitation of what we've put you through in the whole process.
So the only request is the extension
That's it.
to the
Period, amen.
18th.
Okay.
And you're really not even being asked to make that decision. You're simply being asked to determine that the request is an insubstantial modification.
Right.
Then by regulations, it's deemed approved.
Okay, so,
Move that the request for an extension is an insubstantial modification to the permit.
second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, well, let me pass that around, and people can look at it, and we'll get it signed for you.
As the gentleman with the PayPal account who got $92 bajillion, I was chairman for about 2 seconds with her.
What happened to that one?
Mr. Devlin was kind enough to advance a proposed decision. And he, not knowing who the chairman was, he put it on.
One other question that
Proposal would be
was
a
just
chairman.
brought to my attention. We're required to fund the account for the review engineer during the course of construction.
Yes.
And the question is whether or not, rather than paying the full amount, $11,000 up front, whether we can pay you $5,000 now and the balance later on when the work actually starts.
How is it usually done?
It's done either way. It's the board's preference.
So the term is,
So I think what they want to do is just like a year deposit and then
Yeah,
and then the balance due upon the starting of the work?
Yeah.
Well, just after, excuse me if I may, Paul Morocco, Walden Woods, how do you do? Congratulations.
Thank you.
The way it's worked for us in Rockland, where we gave the $5,000 down, and there are line items that the engineer does, and therefore, when it's deemed fit, which Nicole will know, of what the next bill would be due, then the rest of the monies would be paid.
In other words, we'd always stay ahead of them.
Correct.
Okay.
Because the payment comes directly from,
yeah, I'll.
you guys issue the payment.
Yeah, but we'd always stay ahead of them.
Oh,
Do we have to make, I mean, do we have to come up with some kind of a decision on that, or we just simply say,
No, yeah.
that's fine?
I think it's simply an understanding.
I wasn't sure if the board was okay with it, so I wanted him to just.
Does it create a bookkeeping issue for you that's onerous? That would be my only request. If it becomes an issue for Nicole, then it will become an issue for the board, and
Yeah.
we just request that.
If I may, the board would never hear of it because I deal with Nicole on a daily basis, so.
I
Yeah.
fully expect that, but I'm just,
But I have no problem with it.
Okay.
and how about the time of his job? Do you estimate
We've
that?
already started clearing the land. The passing's on Tuesday. We just needed the extension.
Wow.
And then we're ready to start. The water line has to be installed right away from Hazel to Stenbeck, because they're paving the road in 14 days, so.
Well,
we're
that's
ready to start.
very exciting after, what, 11 years or more?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
back when I had color in my hair.
I know.
Different color.
That
And I
was-
think a few other people did.
I had hair.
Wonder where I was.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll get this filed.
Was it just two to say?
Yeah, there's just two. Okay. Boy, we're just breezing through these.
Okay, our third application this evening is Jeffrey Farkas of 80 Broad Street, apartment 202, this request in MGL chapter 40, section 6, finding in a floodplain special permit pursuant to section 470, 6F of the City zoning bylaw for an increase in gross floor area of 81.9% and non-conforming dwelling located at 7 Olive.
For the record, my name is Paul Maravito from Ross Engineering Company, representing the applicant Jeffrey Farkas. And with me,
Can we put it up here just so that, I mean, we all have a copy of it, but think it's more helpful.
Want to put it over here, or?
Just like this.
Okay, I can see it better this way.
Yeah.
Is that all right with you?
I'm
good.
Also this evening is the project architect, Dennis Wood, from the state. The existing dwelling is approximately 10 inches by 32 feet overall lot size. Lot that's 3,200 square feet on Oliver Street in the Hummerock section of Scituate. What he's proposing to do is to raise the existing dwelling and reconstruct a new one in the same outside footprint, and we wouldn't be going any closer to the property line or any further from it. The new house would still be 29 foot 10 inches by 32 feet. There'd be an open deck on the front of the house and an open deck to the rear. There is an existing septic system, which is fairly new in the front yard, and the septic tank and the pump chamber are in the rear yard. It is a small lot, and that's why we're seeking the relief under the applicable provisions of the zoning bylaw. As far as the existing gross floor area, there's 1,260 square feet. The proposed dwelling would be 2,297 square feet. That's an 81.9% increase. It is a relatively small house, so when you add a second floor to it, then the increase does come up quite a bit. There are no changes in the elevations of the land. We have received approval from the Conservation Commission. It is on a barrier beach, so it has to be elevated up above the existing elevation of the land. It'll be, the first floor of the house will be higher than what is currently required by the FEMA because they are on a barrier beach. So with that, I'll, my presentation will answer any questions you may have.
Actually, just one question, Paul, on the front of the house, the open deck, the little bump out, is that a chimney or something, or?
Chimney, it's a wood burning fireplace,
Okay, that's,
and the owner wants to have it in the new house as well.
all right. And then I know it looks like they had the same bump out, so the distance of proposed distance, the existing distance of 26.7, is that going to be the same distance on the proposed too? I didn't see it on the plan.
Well, the fireplace is
25.
structure, that's 25, and the new one is 25 with the fireplace as well.
Okay.
So the proposed dwelling would also be 26.7 to the dwelling.
Yeah, that's good.
But we have to go by the setback for the chimney. And the rear yard setback is 23.4 in the existing condition. The required setback is 20 feet, and the proposed condition will be 21 feet.
And is the back deck on pilings as well?
Pardon?
Is the back deck on pilings as well?
Yes,
Open deck?
yes, everything's on files to meet the FEMA requirements. The structural plans were prepared by John Queen and submitted to the Conservation Commission. And they'll also be submitted to the building inspector as well.
Anybody have any other questions?
You're not giving us anything here. You're not relieving any of the nonconformity. I appreciate the size of the lot. You can't do much about it.
It is small. Also, the septic tank and the pump chambers take up the rear yard, and they have a leaching field in the front yard. So we really couldn't expand that house. So we weren't going to expand it out sideways, obviously. It is small. It's only 29 foot 10 inches.
Where are you proposing to relocate the shed?
The shed?
It just says it shall be relocated. Probably at the end of the gravel walk,
You'll probably put it, yes, in the upper right-hand corner.
the northeasterly corner. And that's, it's not dimensioned, but I'm guessing it's under 100 square feet, so it's
Yes. Oh,
It's not on a
It's
thumb.
much of a shed.
Just box. This is the one we had an inquiry about the driving of pilings,
Yes, then from one of the neighbors, I believe.
and that, just so it is on the record, the Neil had advised us that the prior to driving pilings or doing demolition, blasting, things like that, you need to do a survey of the
You
surrounding
need to offer a
property.
survey, I think.
You need to offer a survey.
Give a pre-survey for the driveway.
Right.
Right.
There was a note from a butter that had no concerns about the property, but, about the project, but was concerned about possible damage to their
I think
foundation.
the other
So-
concern in the note too was, that I think the
Lighting?
floodlight,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of coming down, as I say, with the building so high now, if they had a floodlight up high on the side of the building, kind of coming down.
Yeah.
So they want it to point down.
Hopefully
Yeah, it could be,
downlighting.
well,
Yes.
lighting is just, they could shield that, so, so you don't,
Yeah.
infringe on-
Downlight with a shield.
yeah.
And if you're trying to light the backyard, light it from the first floor instead of lighting it from the peak.
Sure.
That,
Don't put it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just makes good neighbors,
Sure.
that's all.
Okay.
There isn't much of the yard to light,
No,
No, but you get it back
Right.
down.
a full moon will do it.
and there's a street light.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we make that a condition, or?
I mean,
I'm not sure that it's within our purview to really, I
Yeah.
mean, we could, because it's, but I'd shy away from doing that because I don't like to get into being an architectural review board. That's not our capacity. I am anxious that the applicant know that the concern of the neighbors, so that we can launch into a project as good neighbors.
And I will just say, Jeff has mentioned to me, his in-laws live down the street in Hummerock, so they're very familiar there. They've been there for a while. So he is concerned about the neighbors and their reaction to it, making sure that everyone's happy
Mhm.
so they can enjoy the house. So I'll relay all these concerns to him and make sure that they're incorporated into the final drawing.
it's not like the technology isn't there.
Sorry, Dennis Swart. That's S-W-A-R-T.
Yeah, I guess your only other concern was the proximity of the lot line on the left-hand side.
Oh, because of the
Yeah.
building requirements?
Well, that's their, Paul knows about that, and that's kind of their issue.
Right. But that's the same issue of being aware.
Yeah.
Neil would point it out for us, but you're 3.4 feet from the sideline, so you've got construction issues there
would be a
about
little different.
fire
All kinds of fire
safety
rated,
issue, fire retardancy,
glass, everything.
special glass, et
The glass
cetera,
on that side of the house will,
within 5 feet of the lot line.
That's something the architect would have to put into the specs for the new house? Is that-
Yeah.
That Neil will require it
It's
to the building
building
permit.
code.
That.
Yeah, it's
That's
building
state
code.
building code.
Construction drawings.
Yeah. Anybody else on the board have any other questions or comments? Okay. Anybody from the audience here on this application? No? Okay. Do we have a motion?
What do we need? We need just the, a finding and special permit?
Yes.
Move that the board find that the project as described is not substantially detrimental to the neighborhood and
Actually, more detrimental.
not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood, and that a special permit be granted to raise and reconstruct.
also do we have to address the floodplain, or reference the floodplain? Or it's in the floodplain?
It'll be referenced in the
Yeah, in the decision.
decision as being in the floodplain.
Okay.
Second?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Who's, we don't need, do we need decisions on, what did we already do here? Walden Woods is done. All right, so, whose turn is on this one?
I'm gonna say.
I think it's Peter's turn again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not your turn, because you're right in the,
Oh, yeah. I think that was supposed to be Peter's.
It was, so it's either Ed or.
Actually, I'll take,
John.
I'll do this one. I think Ed jumped in on the last.
I pulled a couple of them, so.
Yeah, that's 12. Okay.
You got the boilerplate, right?
All right.
That's a boilerplate decision anyway. You've got, if Nicole forwards the draft as I did it, it's in a Word document, so you should be able to just pull it up and
Change the names.
change, well, It is in a floodplain,
So you can edit it.
a couple of minor edits.
All right.
Let me?
I think I'll check, I think I have it.
Okay, moving on.
All right, next.
Mr. Hayes.
On September 12th, 2005, the project located at Lot 1 and Lot 2 for
Good evening, Mike Hayes, representing Lane Riddle. This is a special permit granted in 2005, and Sarah, you may remember this one. We've been in a number of times to extend this. We extended it in 2007 due to family circumstances with Mrs. Riddle, and again in 2009. This was extended for the same reason. In 2011, we appeared in front of the board to discuss the Permanent Extension Act, which we all felt extended this permit for 2 years to July 18th, 2013. After we did that, the Permanent Extension Act was extended in 2012 for an additional 2 years. So, again, it would be my opinion that this permit is good for until 2015. Mrs. Riddle has had this property for sale for many years. This is her retirement income, so it's very critical to her future that this permit not be lost. And it was supposed to be sold about 2 weeks ago. It looks like it is actually going to be sold next week. So she wanted me to come to the board to discuss with the board whether the board agrees with my opinion that the Permit Extension Act as extended would increase the protection of this permit for two more years. And if not, she would respectfully ask that we, the board vote to extend it again.
Okay, yeah, I kind of do remember the property and some of the details. I don't have a copy of the Permit Extension Act.
I do.
I think I might have given it to you the last time you were here, one time.
I remember getting that.
But I don't know what happened to it.
You want it
so-
back?
Yeah, I want it back. It's got my name on it.
No, but, thank you, Ed.
So your question on the kind of the act was, is the extension carried over to an extension that already exists at the end that we have right now?
Well, I think the act certainly does.
Yes.
But to my, at least in my memory, I don't think anyone's come before this board since
Yes.
2012 to verify or have a consensus between the property owner and the board that a permit is extended under the 2012 Permit Extension Act. But the Permit Extension Act says specifically that the second Permit Extension Act says that instead of a 2-year extension, there is now a 4-year extension. So,
And it does say here, it says it's automatic and occurs by operation of law. Neither the permit holder nor the issuing agency needs to take action to implement the extension. So, it seemed to me that you're good without doing anything.
I would agree, and, but again, the sale of this property means everything to her
Right.
future, so she asked me to indulge you and to come in and discuss it.
So I think with that, the 2000, or July
2015.
18th, 2015
Yeah.
would be
Right.
appropriate.
What I did in the last time in 2011, Sarah, at your suggestion, was I submitted a letter to the board to put in the file.
Yeah.
That we had discussed it at a meeting then, and that it was the consensus of the board that the Permit Extension Act, in fact, extended the permit for 2 years. So I'd be happy to do that again, just.
Well, it would seem to me that makes probably the most sense, because it doesn't, I don't think we need to do anything.
I agree, so.
And then that kind of protects you and your client. And the title company might have a little, they might be a little concerned when they're looking to, grant good title for it, that they're safe on that, so.
Just so you know, it's my understanding in the proposed 2014 budget, there is another extension of the Permit Extension Act
Wow.
on the table, so.
The third extension. It shows you how bad things are still. Well, good for her that she was able to, hopefully she's able to get it
Yes,
sold.
because it means everything to her.
Yeah. But that
Okay.
would, I think we're good on that.
Great, thank you.
If you just submit that.
Mike, do you need this copy back?
Could I? Yes.
Yeah, let me write it down again, though, because I gotta.
So the board's agreeing that it's covered under the extension.
Yes.
As a matter of law, or anything we need to take action on.
Yep,
And I'll get a letter to Nicole for that.
okay,
Thank you very much.
okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
No. Yeah, great.
All right, so,
All right, so,
moving on.
last week, Francis, 117 for a special permit issued on September 22nd, 2008 to allow the addition of an attached garage, a single-family dwelling with a property located on 17.
Good evening again. For the record, Mike Hayes representing Vicky and Francis Schlosser, 117 Lawson Road. Sarah, you may remember this one too. This was a situation where the Schlossers, who have a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling on Lawson Road, their house is built on the old Lawson Duck Pond property, and they started a process back in 2006 where they were interested in adding a garage to their home that they had renovated previously. Worked with the Conservation Commission to locate that because there are wetlands on the property as a result of the duck pond expanding over the years. I came before the board initially after conservation approval with the plan to have a detached one-car garage, and the board, we withdrew that application after the board expressed concerns that as a detached garage, a variance would be required. And the board wanted us to come back with a second application attaching the garage to the home, which we did, and we received a finding and a special permit to do that. That's not the preferred solution for the Schlossers. It never has been. And as Peter had stated last month, after our first discussion on the Gale decision, that he expected people to come back to this board regarding pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwellings, and this is the first one. The Schlossers would like this board to consider allowing them to construct this garage as a detached structure rather than attached. From their point of view, it makes a lot more sense, number one, for them, number two, for the town, because the detached garage will create a little more of a buffer between the wetlands and the structure. And it makes sense for the neighborhood because it's certainly more attractive, and the neighbors were fully in favor of detaching the garage in the first place. What you have in front of me is a proposal for the detached garage. It's in yellow. The dark area to the right is a cutout. It's not straight across. The garage would then be located, the corner of the garage closest to Lawson Road would be located 23 feet from the layout of Lawson Road. And if you remember, this part of Lawson Road is the original parade ground for the Lawson estate. And the layout for the street is extremely wide. And in fact, the 23 feet proposed or requested setback from the street is actually over 50 feet from the pavement, because the layout is so wide in that area for the, Lawson Parade route. The Sloshes asked me to come in and talk to the board about this to see if we could proceed and ask for the board's guidance as to whether we could proceed by way of an amendment to the special permit, or whether the board felt this was a significant enough change from the existing special permit to require a new filing. So that's why we're here.
All right, and this is what we approved the last time, and it just, you were here.
I was here.
No, I have what you approved the last time for the attached. I can show you that.
Basically, we put a breezeway on it. Didn't we just join it with a breezeway?
No, actually, no. The board preferred that there be no breezeway and that it just be stuck on the end of the house, right here.
That's right.
And here's here's the,
Oh, that's what we approved, like that?
Got us out of this issue. Remember, that was the problem with the 20 feet.
I
before they
do.
snip the
The
corner.
problem is I remember, but I don't remember
Now
too
they're
many
snipping the corner.
details.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be on the end of the garage was supposed to be on the end of the house. They
Correct.
really want to
They wanted to
angle
twist
it,
this way
cockeye it.
because
they want to angle it to
Yeah.
conform with the existing driveway.
Right,
You said if you did this, you'd still keep out of
In,
that corner.
right.
this is the,
Because of the turn.
that's the rendition of the elevations of what they'd like to build. And then, just so, maybe Anthony would like to see that, just shows their
yeah, I think it
property
is.
with the Lawson Duck Pond on it, that you might remember, that you can still see the tiles at the bottom of
Yeah.
the duck pond in the
I always thought I
backyard.
was going to go over there and look at it, but I never did. Yeah, I remember that. It's a beautiful garage.
It's a beautiful garage, and they turned their old ranch into a beautiful home, and it's their hope to live there for many years. And
Well, I think the key part of our decision the last time, and I was on the board, I wasn't a signature, I was an associate member. But this is a very unique property. The Lawson Duck Pond is a concrete, I believe, tiled pond. It was man-made. It's a pool. However, it's not allowed for the neighbors and the owners of the property that it's on, I think, 3 different lots, if I remember correctly. They're not allowed to go in and maintain the drainage, which was built with the pond. So therefore, the pond is growing. This is a man-made wetlands that they're not allowed to maintain. If they were allowed to clean the drains, it would be a pond again. It would be within the confines of the pond,
And remind me, why can't they clean the drains?
because Concom didn't want them to do it.
Concom doesn't want them to touch it.
Oh, is that it? Even though it's a,
But we perceived it, or I perceived it to be more of a pool than
yeah.
because it can't drain naturally because it's concrete, and it's tiled, and it's lovely, and Mr. Lawson did some amazing things. Anyway, the issue is their property is being encroached upon by wetlands that they can't control, that are of Thomas Lawson's making, or subsequent to his construction, the lack of maintenance of the property, of the pond itself. So my recollection is we wanted to, by putting it next to the house, we kept it 20 feet from the wetlands. We satisfied Concom's concerns, and we maintained it as a detached component, and it got the relief of that we could grant it without a variance. But as you say, Gail allows us to reconsider some of these
I
things.
think Gail does allow you to reconsider this in the special permit purview and make a determination if you so decide that it would not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood. I've talked about this with Neil also informally, and he was very interested in this because, and he also felt that Scituate's bylaw includes detached garages as part of a dwelling, so that this would be creating no precedence, nothing unusual would be going on here. It's just taking it out of the variance procedure and putting it into the special permit purview, where you can, permit or not permit.
Is there a reason they don't want to go to the original plan, though, which had it further from the house?
Because Concom was dead set against that, because it was going too close to the back of the property.
Okay.
So they've moved it a few feet towards the street.
So Concom has not approved
I was going to say.
this one yet.
Do they have to go back?
Concom has not approved this, although I have talked, and Mr. Schlosser has talked to the conservation agent, who does not see this as a major change. I'm not going to speak for him, but I'm confident that, and I believe that we'd be able to go forward basically as a field change, because we're actually getting what's in front of you would be further away from the wetlands than what is approved.
Yeah, because your drawings don't match up with the idea of clipping the corner yet. So that hasn't been, you know what I mean?
These drawings?
These
Right.
drawings.
Yeah.
Which
They're
one?
not-
Yes, that was my working, the big one there? John?
Yeah,
That's my working drawing from years ago, so. And that was not clipped.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
And it was also, I believe, put on backwards, it was flipped, so.
Yeah.
The larger question becomes, is this substantial enough that we have to open public hearing again, or just modify it? My recollection is there weren't a lot of neighbors, the neighbors supported it, but
The neighbors did support it, but, I mean, we'd be happy to
it could
come
be new,
back
it could
after
be new
public-
neighbors too, so.
I suppose that's true.
I can tell you there is one new neighbor, a direct abutter is changed since this was before the board. I think we'd be more than happy to come back and give the neighbors, after giving the neighbors notice. I think in all honesty, what we're suggesting we'd like to avoid is new filing fees and all that type of thing.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't find this an insubstantial change. I mean, you're really moving it significantly from where it was approved. It was approved on the end, and now you're totally rotating it. So, I mean, I don't
We
see
think the advantage is twofold. It's better aesthetically, rather than creating a massive structure, number one, and number two, this would move the structure further from the wetlands, so.
When we've done, basically, you're looking to modify the permit then?
We received a special permit, so yes, we would be requesting a modification of the special permit.
And we've done those, but I can't remember the process. We don't require a new filing fee on that, do we?
If they,
I think if the board,
if you guys deem that it is a
Substantial
then
change.
you need to start from scratch and basically.
Oh.
Notify the neighbors and-
Yeah. Yeah.
If you decide that it's not a substantial change and you want to just amend the decision, then you vote on it tonight and they might make the decision.
I mean, one thing that maybe I could do, Sarah, if you think it would help, I can certainly get an abutters list and give certified mail notice to all the abutters and bring green cards if you think we could go forward as an amendment to the special permit that way.
I don't have a problem with it being an amendment to the special permit because modification, because basically it's what they presented originally to us.
It is.
But I do
Pretty
think,
close to.
particularly with the potential for this type of an application under Gale, coming forward, this was 5 years ago, it's 2008. So the neighbors deserve their day in court. I would not want to sidestep that. So I
Neither would we.
we've had other, we've deemed something non-substantial at a public hearing where neighbors were notified. I think that's the appropriate tack. Ask that the applicant provide notice to the neighbors that they are looking for the board to determine whether it's substantial or non-substantial.
Yeah, because
come
I
in.
actually, I have Gail here, and I think Gail, the first question is that you have to identify the particular respect or respects in which the existing structure does not conform to the present bylaw, and then determine whether the proposed alteration or addition would intensify the existing nonconformity or result in additional ones. And I think the answer to that obviously is yes.
Yeah, because right now the dwelling does not meet the front yard setback.
Right, but this is going to increase that and add a new one, because you're going farther.
Well,
Right.
I think we're not going any,
Oh, no, you're not.
we're
You're
not
You're
going
24.
closer. I think
Right.
we would be,
23.
again, I think it becomes a discussion we might want to have at some point. Are we extending?
It was 23
the-
before.
The existing nonconformity?
No, it's going
Or
to be
because it
they're not
is
gonna cut this
detached,
corner.
are
Yeah,
we
it is.
creating
It is.
a new nonconformity, which you still can do in a special permit?
Right.
Okay, I see,
situation.
I see. Okay, so yeah, they drew
But
in a
you,
line.
That type of-
your existing at 24.77.
Yep.
Your proposed is 24.92. That's de minimis, but
No,
No,
is
no,
it
23 in that
but
corner.
now you're going to fill in the corner.
We're going to fill in that
So
corner.
you're going to end up
to
making it 23. So it's a foot and a half. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're intensifying the nonconformity
Right.
or extending it. Again, I think that the nature of my recollection of the board at the time was that it was not a, being detached, fitting it on the property, the shape of the lot, the fact that the pond is man-made in an unusual way. We would have liked to have probably approved this at the time, but
The board
because
wanted to grant the
because of the
original,
concern of
the
it being a
original
variance.
application, but just said, we can't because it's not
And
attached.
Gail says it doesn't need a variance now.
Yeah.
This type of an application doesn't need a variance. So I would move that if the applicant notifies the abutters that there'll be a determination of substantial or insubstantial change.
And so you would vote to take it on as a modification of the existing permit?
Well, the question is it a substantial modification? That's what we're gonna, if
Well, I think we have to
they're gonna
answer that
ask us.
tonight, don't
No,
you?
I
No,
think,
that's the only thing the applicant's asking us. If we decide it's not, at the next meeting, we can approve the plan as presented. But I'd rather do that in front of neighbors.
I would agree.
And if we decide that it is, then we got to start all over
Yeah,
again.
Right.
if we decided it is, then it is start all over.
yeah, I think Ed has a point. It wouldn't be fair to make that decision tonight without the neighbors.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, it'd be nothing for us to decide later.
Mr. Bjorklund, do you have a comment?
I do. I actually own the property at 122 Lawson Road across the street from this.
Yes.
I hope they get their garage, and I hope they can do it as an amendment, because it's going to be a nice addition to the neighborhood.
Are you a new owner in the past 5 years of that?
No, I've probably owned it maybe 15 years.
Does the drain for the pond come out on your property?
It actually just misses my property.
It's like right-
Yeah, even if it's a man-made wetland, after a certain amount of time, it becomes regulatory through the commission. That's why they can't just go.
It's just too bad.
It's crazy.
I'd just love to see it. All right, so if you want to do that, you want to continue then
For the
to?
20, or the 15th, is
Yep.
it? Yeah?
Will that give us enough time for the notices?
Is that enough
Those-
time for notice?
I don't know, it's up to Nicole.
Yeah, I
27 days?
Am I noticing them, or?
I can, well, I can, either way,
I need an actual application.
Okay, then we don't want to do that. We're trying,
I will
yeah.
give notice and bring green cards,
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
if that works for the board. And Nicole? Yeah,
yeah, I think that works.
great,
And
thank
we
you.
can go over it and discuss it, and hopefully, are they planning to actually build it anytime soon? or-
Yes, two of their daughters are now no longer in college, so
Ah.
they're much more inclined to build it now than in the past when they had two in college, so yes.
A lot of things happened between 2008 and 2013. It's-
Do we need a motion to continue?
Yes, we do. Well, no, actually.
No,
we-
it's not a
we-
No,
we
it was
should
just
say
advice.
that By agreement.
He's just asking
By
for
agreement,
advice.
sure.
Right, right.
On the 15th, and I'll bring the green cards, and thank you very much.
Does Steve Steve, you raising you?
I was just gonna say, if he could do it by letter, he might not have to send green cards out. There's only a few butters if they.
Well, I think the green cards are sure that everybody gets the actual notice. That's the thing. So if somebody doesn't go, I didn't get notice, you know.
That protects you,
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
I
I'm
mean, if
gonna
he
write
gets
them
a
letter
signature
stating what's going
before
on.
a green card, then we
Yeah.
can, no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
great, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Keep an
Move
eye
to
on your
adjourn?
green cards, Steve.
Yeah, do we have any other business?
I'll probably be here that night, so.
I think you got a plan. All righty.
Mike, do you need these back?
Want that?
I don't, you can have
I
it.
have more, but I'll take it back for now. Okay. I think that's in the file, but.
All right, did we move to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second? All in favor? Aye.
The record show that Chairman Trezai says